Hi everyone, it's Maggie and I'm here with a project share. This is the Doily mini album that I made as one of the pieces for my swap with Jean Wragg, and this is the mini Doily album. And this is the front cover. I did use a ring binder because I didn't expect it to be as thick as it is, so I had to use a ring binder, but I did use a lot of seam binding to try to hide it. And then I made this dangle right here. I made all the dangles except for these two pieces right here. They're Prima and they're called Genie stones. I've had them for quite a while, and I just thought they added to the album. And then this piece here, I think someone gifted it to me, and it just looked beautiful on the bottom. So that's the dangle. This is the front cover. And I added, excuse me, an extra doily on the top. And then this piece here is a one of those flower-like appliques by the yard, and I added a butterfly and then some little rhinestone pieces for a tail. I made this flower with some embroidered trim and flower centers and a rhinestone piece in the middle from One Little Dreamer. On each side is a large clay flower, and underneath that is a handmade tiny, I'll show you close up, tiny handmade doily that my daughter's friend, her grandmother, crocheted, and she had a whole box of her pieces, and they were sitting in the attic for, she said, over 30 years, and her daughter didn't want them, and she knew what I did for crafting, and she said, I'd like you to have them. You can use them any way you want. And so she gifted them to me. I did do a video. I think I've had them for over a year, though, and I used them very sparingly on special projects, and I hoard the rest because they're just absolutely beautiful. And some of them are in, perfect condition. Those I haven't been able to cut up, but some of the ones, like the one that these little pieces were on, had some discoloration to them, so I had an easier time cutting those. So anyways, okay, that's this part here. And then I added this trim, and on each of the little flowers that dangle, I added tiny clay flowers. And you're going to see these clay flowers throughout the mini album. They just add so much. I think they're one of my favorite embellishments to use, and I do use them a lot. But I just think they add to the project, so I'm sure not everyone's going to agree that they think it might be a little too much, but I'm hoping, Jean likes it, because really that's all that matters. And then there's this piece here. This is another trim. And then I added 2 flat back pearls just for little interest. And then this piece here actually goes on the next page. So that's the cover. And then here's the first 2 pages. And this is a pocket page, as you can see. And I used a fabric doily, an old vintage fabric doily, and I cut it in half. There's 2 pocket pages to this album, and half of it is on this page. I used a trim to cover it, and you see, I'm not going to point out all the clay flowers, will be here all day. And then I added this tiny little trim here from TPG Crafts on Zibbit, Julie's store. And as you can see the inside. And then I fussy cut these appliques and put them around that way. And then underneath, I had done some tea dyeing on some scraps that I had, and I've used some of those also on the book. And I really like how they came out. It was my first time tea dyeing, and so I added those to the page. Now I know this looks slanted, and I did that on purpose. I wanted it to, I didn't want it going straight across. The other page, it is going straight across, so I wanted to do this page a little differently. And something will go inside. I just haven't decided yet what to put inside of this one. And then here's the next page, and this page has an image. And this little trim here I got from Trisha, little Shabby Chic. Hi, Trisha. And I had to cut each one of these pieces out in order to fit it correctly around the image. And then I added these tiny little 1 millimeter rhinestones. If you can, I don't know if you can see, but on the tops of this trim, there's some little tiny flowers. And then here's some more bridal applique trim that I put around that. And then this is one of the Wild Orchid Craft beaded flowers. And then underneath that is a small doily. And then this is a applique piece that I cut out from that old jacket or top, whatever it was that I had gotten from a thrift store a while ago. I have a little bit left, so I keep using it. And I put a larger clay flower in the middle of that. And then this is an antique doily, and that's underneath all of this, but you can still see enough of it. And I like how that looked. Oh, and underneath that doily is this trim here, and you can see the little clay flowers. And this trim here also is from Julie's store, the Thrifty Paper Garden. And then here's the next 2 pages, and I'm calling this the flower page. I made this gathered flower for the middle. I wanted to add a little touch of color, and these are an applique. This is an applique I cut in half and put it on each side to fit the flower. And this is from a vintage curtain. And then this also is a piece from a different vintage curtain that I added to the top of that. And then on the bottom, here's a tea-dyed piece that I had left of a trim. And I love how that came out. And that's that page. And then this page has another, oops, something's caught. Oh, let me take that out. This page has another image. This is a different trim. It looks almost the same as the one as I used, and it's also from Trisha. And I was able to put it around though without having to cut it. And then on this side, just for a little bit of a different interest, I added these little tiny flowers and pearls in the middle. I tucked some little tiny clay flowers in there. And then this piece here is from the same piece that I cut this out from, that jacket. And then I made this little flower here. And this is a tatted doily. I cut it in half, and I put half here and half here. I added the little clay flowers just here and there. And then I added a couple trims. There's this trim here, and these are acrylic flowers, and I think they're from Wild Orchid Craft. And then underneath that is this. It's kind of hard to show you to lift up, but here's a piece of another trim. And I love this trim, and I think this is from One Little Dreamer, one of her new trims. And then that's it for this page. And here's another one of those rhinestone pieces. They're really gorgeous. Okay, and here's the next 2 pages, and this is the pocket page for this one. And I did, even though it's the other half, I did make it look a little different by putting this trim that I had. This is the only piece I have, and I don't remember who gave it to me. It might have been Virginia, Hi V. I think she might have given it to me at one time, and I just added it along the top. And then this is an applique here, and I just added the clay flowers. And then this is a piece here that was cut from something. And then these are little acrylic flowers with tiny rhinestones from Wild Orchid Crafts. And then what's going in this pocket is, let me just make sure I have it right, is this little mini doily album. This is only the second one that I made, and I really had fun making this. I liked making the first one too. It was really hard to actually make one small, and the other one that I made is even smaller than this one. But I only had, these were the smallest full doilies with the material in the middle, and so this is what I used. And I had 4 of them, so I said, well, I'll use 2 on this, and then that will leave me 2 in case I want to make another one. And I couldn't make it too thick, or it just wouldn't have fit in the pocket. So I made this flower with another embroidered trim here, and then I added tiny little rhinestones, those little 1mm rhinestones, just kind of here and there on the folds, just to give it a little more interest. A little, what do you call those? Connectors. And then this is one of Artie's Bling by the Yards. I just cut one piece off of it, and I put that in the middle. And then this is an applique by the Yard piece. A flower does go with it, but I didn't use it because you wouldn't have been able to see it. And what I did was I cut the flowers apart so that they would dangle, and I added these tiny blue 1mm rhinestones in the middle of the flowers, and then the clear ones on these pieces here that hang down. And then I added some flat back pearls on the curl and the leaf. And I think the cover came out really pretty. And then on this side, there's a little tiny image here. And then I added a couple of smaller doilies. I added this little piece here on the bottom. This is a piece that I cut from a larger piece from One Little Dreamer. These little leaf pieces I think are from Julie. And this little trim here I think is from Trisha. And so that's this page. And because this showed on this side also, instead of putting the rhinestones though, I put the tiny green clay flowers on the flowers on this side of it. So on this side you have the rhinestones, this side you have the clay flowers. And then the other page is this little flower page. I added some more of this dangle trim, some rhinestones, a couple of little flower appliques and flat back pearls. This is another little piece from One Little Dreamer. I added some of those and the tiniest clay flowers that I have on the bottom of those. And then I just cut some pieces to make it look like dangle. And then the back cover, there's a key attached. I attached it with ribbon and I put the key in there, but I think I'm going to change the key out. I don't know. It just doesn't like sit right for some reason. But anyways, on the back I made another flower and another rhinestone and pearl piece, and this is a little button from One Little Dreamer. I added this trim here with some different flowers, and here's another dangle piece here. So this is my little mini in a mini, and it goes right inside this pocket, but it does fall out when you're moving the pages around. And then this is the last page. It's an image page. I used this flower trim to go around it. I added these leaves from that vintage piece that you've seen on some of the other pages. I made another little flower. I used some rose appliques here. This is a piece of a trim. And then I added some little pieces of smaller doilies to hang. And then I added this dangle piece here. And the pearls actually go on the back. You'll see that in just a second. So that's that page. And then this is the back cover. And I kept it, well, I don't know if you'd call it simple because of this gorgeous applique, but that's all I put on here besides doilies. I hid my handmade behind one of the doilies. And this piece here, I believe, is from Crafty Nita Shah. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And I thought it looked beautiful on the back page. And it just finished off the mini. So, this is the mini album. And I so hope Jean likes this and that it's her style. I know she loves vintage. And she likes pastel colors, so I wanted to do it in the colors and style that she likes. So I will be back again with another piece that I made for Jean. I hope you liked it, and if you'd like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.